Previously on Spiritual Warfare. Well, hello once again, and welcome back to Nathan Plays Spiritual Warfare. My name is Nathan, and this is Spiritual Warfare for the Nintendo Entertainment System. In the last episode, we got in a little bit over our heads, as you saw in the recap, and then we made the startling discovery that the game does not keep track of which keys we've already picked up, which was a big deal, because as far as I know, there aren't enough keys in the game for all the locked doors they put in. Or maybe there are, but I am just not able to find the less obvious ones. So in any case, I decided to start off this episode with a little bit of science. We're going to backtrack, retrace our steps. So as you can see, we started off back in the hotels area, sort of on the other side of it from where we ended off last time. And I've got all 4 of the Grapes of Joy, which just sort of makes me, as I mentioned, a grape machine gun, which is awesome. It's got good spread, good speed. It's really quite a good all-round weapon. We're going to have to head back through the warehouse area there and to the airport to our sweet, cool plane. And yep, surely enough, another key has appeared. That means that there should be one nearby in the downtown area, so that was the next stop on our list of the ones that I recall. And I decided to start making better use of the jawbone, which I hadn't really been doing up to this point. It saved me a couple of steps every time. It just speeds things up a little bit. It's kind of nice. So back in downtown, we've got, sure enough, that key is back. And then I realized, instead of walking all the way up there, why don't we try a little bit of science? Oh, look at that. Jawbone gets keys, too. So now we've got 2, which should be sufficient for the remaining locked doors that we know of. We can also head into the park and grab the raft at long last. Yep, there it is in the inventory. Raft. Use in water. Thanks. It's good advice. And there happens to be a bit of water nearby. There's this lake thing, and so I started searching for a way onto it just to see if I could putter around on the lake in the park and just kind of have a nice time. Have a bit of a fun. Test out my raft. Well, that looks like as good a spot as any. You can bomb these trees away. As soon as I get my directions straightened out. And that gives us easy access to the water, so let's take out the raft. Wait, let's actually equip the raft. There we go. And discover an underground passage right away. Very exciting. I wonder where this could lead. Against all odds and geography, it brings us to the beach, to that corner of the beach from earlier. That doesn't really seem like it makes a lot of sense sort of spatially, but we're gonna roll with it. You can hop in and out of the water, and he just sort of carries the raft around like a champ. It's kind of interesting. Outward, further away from the beach, we have sharks in the water. Although they don't really do anything so much as just kind of bump into you, as we'll see a little bit later. Here on the pier, we've used one of the keys to open up the door, and reveals another push block puzzle. Took me a little while, so I'll just save you the embarrassment of watching me. Embarrassment by proxy. And skip to the part where I actually figured it out. Leads to this mysterious downward ladder with some cute fishies in the water. I don't really think you see those things anywhere else in the game. Palpable sense of mystery here. What could it be? Buried deep down beneath the ocean. It's a shop for buying another Banana of Faith. 90 points. I now have 2. making it somewhat more useful than just having the one, even though they are quite fast. Just having an extra one on the screen is nice, just really to cut down on that reload time. And it's time to hop back out onto the water and see what we can see. There you go, the sharks just kind of bump into you. Maybe the blade, maybe their fin. It's not a blade, really, is it? It's like a dorsal fin. Maybe that hurts a little bit. There's some duckies, as before. It's not the most exciting way to travel, but it does open up some new possibilities for exploration. As well as a lot of shark encounters, apparently. Also, I apologize, just that this wave pattern kind of messes with your eyes if you stare at it too long, so I try to keep this brief. Here's a tiny little rocky island with a heart container in the middle. At first I tried approaching it to see if I could push any of the blocks around with to no avail, but then I thought, hey, maybe Jawbone. Maybe, there we go, maybe Jawbone grabs heart containers as well. Let's give it a try. Whoa, oops, there we go. And heart container gets picked up by Jawbone as well. Jawbone grabs everything. Of course, when you're in an adventure game like this and you see an arrow, you're going to go in the opposite direction of that arrow. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't really lead to a lot of anything. There's one sort of aimless shark there, and it seems to be sort of repeating itself. And at about that point, I glanced up at the top of the screen and noticed that my new location was Lost at Sea, which was more than somewhat alarming. So I made my way back to shore. I was able to find that arrow again and get back to the beach. And then I thought I'm going to go check out that other locked door that we remember from the forest. Forest has a little more of a narrow kind of thing going on, so the bananas are actually pretty useful here because of those long-range archers that we see on this screen. Make short work of them now. And move on up through the crazy lumberjack section here. Get back to work, you guys. For real. Anyway, a couple of vials and they're out of the way, but it does take a little bit of time. And it's not very exciting. Back at the cabin. Take out Chainsaw Man there and head on inside. It says tick. Kind of creepy, sort of sparse. Good job! You can use this ticket to travel between the 5 railroad stations. Well, at long last, my fast travel ticket has come in. Outstanding. If only there were a railroad station nearby to test it out. So I felt emboldened by my Jawbone. I got lots of heart containers. I'm going to try and explore the rest of this forest now. Made my way up to the Crazy Bear section that you recall from last time. But I had chickened out, I believe, last time. Wait, that's not true. Is that true? I don't remember. A lot has happened. Anyway, this time wasn't so bad, especially since explosions can travel around corners in this game. So we've got the bees there. There's another archer. We'll make quick work of him. Oh yeah, no, I did not go this way, I don't think. Because here's a cave I've never seen before. With 2 bears guarding the entrance. Timing. And in. And it's boss room 4 with a fella chucking bombs at me here. A sort of Bomberman, if you will. Kind of a Bomberman 64, if I may. Something told me, or I remembered from my childhood, that the Jawbone will knock the bombs back toward him, although I wasn't entirely sure what to do with that information. I found that you could blast away that part of the wall by fluke, but couldn't really seem to. You can sort of blow up a few of the bombs, and I wasn't really sure what to do with this information beyond that. Certainly, we spent a long time sparring back and forth, but it seems that the key is to let the bombs stack up a little bit, and then, when the time is right, you stop taking damage for 2 seconds, and you knock a bomb in there. When his supply is gone, he leaves. A little unceremonious, if you ask me. The door pops open, and the Helmet of Salvation protects you from harmful explosions. Well, that would have been nice to have moments ago. But, alright. Well, you know what? That's cool. That's fine. That's one more piece of armor. We've only got 2 pieces left. I believe the sword and shield. And now we're protected from explosions. All of those times when we found ourselves next to dynamite. Oop, dodge the bears there. All those times we found ourselves right next to dynamite. Now we're not going to care about that. One more bit of business left in the forest here, which was this mysterious opening that you can see from a different screen. And it's one more pomegranate to add to the collection. 60 points for that thing right there. That only makes 3 of the pomegranates, actually. I don't even have them all, oddly. It's a pretty good stream of fruit, but I'm still going to stick with grapes and bananas for the time being. Made my way out of the forest, luckily found a key underneath a rock that I hadn't checked before, so that's 1 extra just in case, which is kind of nice. Which is why I'm checking all the rocks now, because why not? Hadn't really occurred to me before. And surely enough, 1 more apple to add to your collection of fruit. It travels slowly, but is powerful, and that makes, I think, all 4 of the apples, but, I mean, I'm so over apples, I mean, come on. And now look at this, you can do that bit of dynamite right there, and nothing even happens. So it's time to head over to church and get some direction for my life, or the game, at least. A little bit of a downside of the bananas in more open areas, as you can see, is that you can still, there's a good chance you'll miss, and they're only in a straight line, so I went back to the grapes for better coverage. Welcome to church. The mighty sword of the spirit is hidden on an island by the beach. By the beach. Use the raft to get there. Brilliant. Well, I guess I'm heading all the way back through the woods or something. I've got lots of supplies. I've got a good amount of fruit and bombs. I think this should be okay. So all the way back to the beach, and I hopped onto the raft to set out in search of Mysterious Sword Island. And it turns out it wasn't that hard to find. It was right there. I never went down from that screen. So this appears to be the spot, or a spot, of intrigue. There's a nice boat dock there, and a hunk that's giving me no end of guff here. Hunks. Come on. Didn't really bode well for any conflict up ahead of me if I can't take out this one hunk. I mean, come on. There. Okay. But as far as I can tell, there's still no stairs here. Inspired, I bombed that spot, and the corner explosion allowed me to find my goal. Boss Room 5. This one is perplexing. There's a fella on top chucking balloons at you for some reason. Balloons which you can pop by hitting them with fruit. There are also these guys going back and forth and firing retractable barrels, because why not? Some random bombing reveals 1 ladder. And, you can sort of presume from there that there are going to be secrets all the way up. Okay, alright, good. I'm sort of tanking it out a little bit with these henchmen here. I'm not really sure what to do with them. But there we go. And as you can see, their barrels will drop down the ladders, but once I made it to the top, there was really nothing I could do. I mean, I jawboned, I fruited. Nothing. Takes me out. And I have to continue. Now I have only 3 hearts out of my maximum, which is kind of sad. I still have my jar of anointing oil, so of course I'm going to dive right back in. Maybe this is a fool's errand, but I needed to know what I can do here. So after some more fruitless attacking and just trying out different things, by pure happenstance, I discovered that you can push the barrels and trap them in their own barrelness. Barrelitude. I suppose I will have to deal with the other ones in a similar fashion, but I was just... I'd already burned through my anointing oil by the time I discovered that. And Just wasn't really looking like I was going to make it all the way up there. I prayed a little bit with the last of my remaining points just to grab a couple of extra hearts. I have to make a mental note of where those ladders are. 2 for 3 at this point. And it was no good. I decided to use the shortcut to head back to the park to restock, as there's a free jar of anointing oil not too far underneath the lake there, as you recall, from way back. Game doesn't remember which ones of those you've taken either, and that's 75 points for free. While I was down there, I discovered this passage had opened up from the mysterious discolored blocks that you may recall from much time ago. And inside that, there's a door. And inside the door... Way to go! It says, you found a hidden room. I present you with 75 vials and 150 spirit points. I guess they're actually spirit points. I keep calling them dove points, on account of them being doves and all. Yeah. Feels good. I had to know for sure that the game kept track of whether or not you took these things, and so after getting my free restock, I already had one. I restarted the game, used that one, and grabbed another one as a spare. And then I decided to check back over to that room and just make sure if there was anything, if the game remembered that or not. I don't know what all is stored in the password information. Something tells me it's not gonna give me these points again, but I had to know. Maybe it's a free way of just scamming a whole bunch of vials and spirit points. I'm just gonna call them dove points. I'm more comfortable with that. Unfortunately, the room is empty. Very sad. Well, at this point, it was about time to end the game and get my password. I felt like I had done what I'd set out to do. In the next episode, we're going to head back to Sword Island and try and finish off that boss once and for all. And then afterward, I believe there's just the shield. And then it's on to the Demon's Lair. Thank you ever so much for watching, and we'll see you next mission.